Hey guys, and welcome back to the Accumulation Zone. Today I will be recapping Monday's and Tuesday's price action on US30 with our ScalperPro stochastic RSI strategy. A link for a free trial is in the video description below and also pinned in the comments. Before we get started with Monday's trade recap, I want to make sure that you join our Discord server and participate in our Scalper strategy live chat. It's really important because I'm live there every day during London and New York. Alright, now we're looking on our TradingView chart, US30 5-minute time frame. We've got all the important indicators on our chart, nothing else. Alright, so we see that on Monday's London session open on that very first candle close, we have been triggered into a long entry. So we place our entry right here at the close and we place our stop loss. So we could place it either at the swing low, we can place it at the VWAP, or we can choose a 1-bar stop. And because we have a bullish momentum candle here with no wick to the upside, telling us that the bullish momentum is there, we want to see this momentum continue. So I do not want to hold this trade through some chop all the way through here to eventually hit our take profit. I would like to see it go straight to the upside, not do anything else, but yet I still want to give it some room in case we maybe retrace to the 50% level or maybe a little bit further to then bounce back and hit our take profit target. This is the trade idea, and based on that, I place my stop loss right here at the VWAP to allow it some room to breathe. We could also check the ATR bands, and for the London kill zone we use a multiplier or a scale factor of 1.25. And as we can see, the ATR stop loss would have suggested a stop loss pretty much at the body swing low, which is also still valid. This depends on you and how comfortable you feel placing your stop loss. Alright, but generally speaking, a too big of a stop loss will make it a little bit more difficult for your take profit target to be hit. So we're gonna draw everything in. We're looking for a 2-to-1 risk to reward, and we're breaking even at 1.5 risk to reward, roughly here. Let me measure that quickly. 1.5, almost perfectly. Have a pretty good feeling for it already after so many trades with the strategy. And that's also a reason why it's important for you to do some backtesting and some demo testing live before you actually try to trade a funded account challenge or your own money with the strategy. Alright, so we got our entry right here. Let's skip through this candle because I don't want to make this video too long. We see our stop loss at the VWAP helped us not getting stopped out on this pullback. We didn't see momentum continue straight away, so having this little bit of breathing room for this trade to play out worked out just fine. It's 2:35, so we still have some time left before the London Open, which is happening at 3 AM New York local time. We can see momentum continued, and we already hit our take profit target 5 minutes after the London Open. So this was our first winning trade for the week. Very nice one. But as we can see on this candle right here, we also have been triggered into a long trade with this bullish stochastic RSI crossover. And at the time of this candle close, we haven't been in any ongoing trades. So this is a valid signal that I've taken live and also mentioned on the Discord server before the candle even closed, because we have 5 minutes until this candle is closed. And most of the time it's making the majority of the move during the first 3 minutes. So we still have 2 minutes to prepare. Alright, so on this trade exactly here, I chose a 2-to-1, I chose a stop loss at the body low of this candle. Yet again, I did not want to hold this trade into drawdown and potentially miss out on a short in case the VWAP continues further to the upside. I want to see this momentum continue to the upside. This is what I want to see from this trade if I'm getting a long entry right here. And also, I usually mention it on the Discord, the previous day high and previous day low, based on the daily chart, not New York local time, has been just a little bit above our 2-to-1 risk reward if we would have chosen a 1-bar stop. And most of our community members actually match my stop losses and my ideas of how I want to place my stop loss on each trade very good, because yeah, they've been practicing for quite some time and it's really awesome to see. Alright, so we got our entry at this candle close, so we want to see momentum continue or we accept the loss. Nothing bad about it. So we see momentum continued pretty much straight away, but then we slowed down. We're still in profit. I think we did not reach the 1 to 1.5 risk reward yet, so we did not have to move our stop loss to break even and get stopped out there. So alright, let me draw this back to a 2-to-1 risk reward. And we see we continued. Here we got a new entry signal, but because I've already been in this trade right here on this entry, I did not take this one. But if you chose to go for a bigger stop loss and your take profit would have been hit on that next candle right here at 310, then you wouldn't have been in this trade. You would have still been in a trade at this entry candle. So you would have waited for this candle right here. And we had this move to the upside. We pulled back. And because we haven't formed a significant swing low yet, I would have chosen an ATR stop loss right here, which would have been right here at the ATR level. Again, choosing a 2-to-1 risk reward. I'm just keeping that on there because there are different possibilities on how you place your stop loss, and that's all based on experience. But yeah, make sure to join our Discord server because most oftenly I mention where I'm going to place my stop loss on the Discord before we take the entry. Alright, so we've got all the trades on our chart. Let's see how they worked out. We see momentum continued again. But it actually took some time before we hit our take profit target. I think on this trade right here, this smaller one, in case you couldn't take the signal right here with a wider stop loss, all kinds of different possibilities. Hang on, let me grab that right here, 1 to 1.5 risk reward. Pretty much at the exact same level with the ATR stop loss, so we can keep this line. Come on, let me grab the small, okay, that's not working out. We go for a 2 to 1, which is pretty much at the exact same point than our first trade, so not that much of a difference. We're waiting now for either our break-even point being hit or our stop loss or our take profit target. We see we continued ranging right just below the previous day's high, and then we got our breakout, touched the previous day's high, and both trades, whether you would have placed your stop loss at the swing low or you placed it at the VWAP and got into this entry right here or this entry right here, or depending on your stop loss placement, which you are going to learn more about if you join our Discord server. Alright guys, let's continue right away with our second day of today's trade recap, Tuesday the 9th of May, today's price action. So we see the 2 AM candle opened up, therefore also we start to consider taking trades, yet we did not get a signal because we're below the VWAP. We have bearish candid colors from the ScalperPro, and we also have a bullish crossover. This is not matching up, so we simply skip ahead and wait for a bearish crossover because this is the most likely thing to happen if we're below the VWAP and we also have bearish colored candles. And therefore all we need to wait for is a bearish crossover from the stochastic RSI above the 50 level. That's all we're waiting for. So until then, we can basically sit here very patiently. As we can see now, the stochastic RSI is above the 80 level and we can prepare for a potential short coming up. This could happen anytime. We could continue going up to the VWAP and then have a strong bearish engulfing candle. It could happen right now. We don't know, but it's always better to be prepared. So with that very next candle, we saw we have been triggered into a short with this bearish stochastic RSI crossover. So we get in right here at the candle close, and it's also important because if you set up an alert, you likely won't get the perfect entry at the candle close unless you get into a retracement. But sometimes, as it happens, price just continues to drop and you get in at a worse price. And yeah, that's not really a good thing. Stop loss placement right here. The idea, or my idea, was today when taking the trade, I want to see this momentum continue to the downside, even though we had this little rejection wick here at the bottom. But if we continue further to the upside, above this level, there's pretty much no reason why price would not go above the wick right here. So in case we reverse, we're likely to go up to the VWAP anyway, and this would a too big of a stop loss for my liking. So I chose to go for the smallest stop loss. Yet once again, I also shared it on Discord where I'm placing my stop loss ahead of the candle close. So make sure again to join us on Discord, because that's a place where you're going to learn most about the strategy. So we got our entry. Now we just wait. We got a pullback, but we've been protected by our candle high. We saw the momentum continuation 5 minutes prior to the London Open, and we see the London Open shook us out a little bit. We were a little bit afraid of the trade completely reversing after taking out this low, but there's nothing that we can do to impact the outcome of this specific trade. It's down to probabilities. So all we can do is wait and see if our take profit target or stop loss is being hit, like professional risk managers. And with that very next candle, we see our take profit target has been hit. We did not get stopped out at break even. Our stop loss placement was ideal, and that's really what you want to learn and what you want to improve on, because the stop loss methodology that I'm using is going to be helpful for whatever trading strategy or scalping strategy that you're using or that you're going to use. So from here, we're just going to continue. As we can see, we are at the current low of the day, or low of the session at least, and we would yet again wait for a new bearish crossover before we consider taking any trades. And we pretty much saw we got an immediate pullback back into our zone after hitting take profit right here. So all we do is we wait for a bearish crossover. We continued further to the downside without a valid entry signal right here. So all we do, or we can do, is wait. And right here, okay, now the stochastic RSI is above the 50 level. We pulled back. We got a bearish engulfing candle right here. So all that we're waiting for now is the crossover candle. We did not get it on this candle right here. So we wait for the next candle. It's now 4 a.m. We're within our last hour where we considered taking trades during the London kill zone. The next candle also didn't cross over. This was a very close call, because towards the end of this 5-minute candle, the signal flimmered. So it crossed and it didn't cross, and then it crossed again. But on this candle right here, as you can see in replay mode, it's a little bit hard for me to show that to you what I mean. That's why it's important to also practice on a demo account live first before you consider taking a funded challenge. So let's continue. We got our entry right here at 410. We place our entry at the candle close. Now the only question that we ask ourselves, or that we should have asked ourselves before we actually place the order, is where would be my ideal stop loss placement? You could expect that for a bearish crossover, we're going to close below this level. So what would make the most sense in this case? We've been rejected from this zone right around here 3 times already. And I also shared it on Discord already. So it's really important, if you consider taking a strategy, to join us there, or if you're just curious of how everything is working. Very simple. I chose to go for a body high stop loss right here. We've been rejected from this area roughly 4 times, we could say. We moved up there once, immediate bearish engulfing. Again, with the new hour, buyers tried to push price back above it. They got rejected. And then on that very next candle, they pushed again price. They tried to push price to the upside. But yet again, it did not work out, and we actually formed a down close bearish candle, almost leaving a sort of hammer right here. And with that very next candle, we did not try to go to the upside anymore, and we continued further to the downside. We got our entry signal And in case a wick is going back to the upside, we might continue our way back up to the VWAP. I accept the risk. I take the loss. I prefer taking the loss much rather than having a take profit target that's too far away. And like this, I'm only having to look for a profit target of roughly 35, 36 pips instead of including this whole rejection wick. And it's called a rejection wick because we've been rejected. We're now looking forward to a move to the downside, not to the upside. And that's how I place my stop loss. That's how I think about placing my stop loss. Yeah, and that's pretty much the most important thing about the strategy. But the members get really good at it. And yeah, so it's just about practice in the end of the day. As we can see, we continued to the downside, got rejected. We took out this 4 a.m. low, but the momentum helped us. We did not try to test this area again. If we would have, I would have accepted the loss. I maybe, very likely, actually would have gone in again with the next signal. So yeah, I hope, I can't talk to anyone other than Discord, but I hope you really get the point of my stop loss placement and why I place it at the body swing high here. Why I do not go for the swing high right here. Of course, in the end of the day, let's see if it would have made a difference because our take profit target has been hit for the 4th winner in a row only this week. So that's a 8% net profit, enough to pass a My Forex Funds funded account with a 8% profit target within 2 days. Of course, you could say it's luck starting exactly on Monday, but if you look at the backtesting results, you will pretty much see that whenever you started, maybe you started with some drawdown, but over the long run, the only thing that really matters if you're trading a probabilistic strategy, yeah, that's basically that. Alright, so we hit our take profit target even with our stop loss right here at the swing high. We would have hit our take profit 2 to 1. Let's see. We reverse, we continued. Let's see if it would have been hit. Now we just consolidated below this low. And yeah, we would have eventually hit our take profit target. Just a matter of time. But this is exactly what I mean. I prefer to have my stop smaller and therefore my take profit targets being hit quicker because I am a low time frame scalper and this is a low time frame scalping strategy. Small stops, 2 to 1 risk to reward, that's all we're looking for.